The little princess merely tripped over the map by accident. Unexpectedly, the world ended up losing a country because of it. Because her father was Genghis Khan, an ancient Chinese emperor. The emperor was curious why there was a hole in the map. Seeing this, the general immediately knelt down to explain. The gap on the map represented a small country called Malvia. To this day, it had not yet established diplomatic relations with China. To amuse his daughter, he casually said he would attack that country. Unexpectedly, the general actually took him seriously. He immediately led 100,000 soldiers to Malvia. As 3 lethal arrows flew into the skies above Malvia, the Iron Cavalry stormed into the royal palace. In no time at all, the entire country was annihilated. While the general was cleaning up the battlefield, he unexpectedly discovered 3 bracelets of differing colors. The general took them back to China as spoils of war. Regarding the downfall of such a tiny state as Malvia, the emperor naturally paid it no mind. He let his daughter choose whichever spoil she liked. The little princess chose those 3 strange bracelets. She did not hesitate to place the bracelets on her wrist. When the 3 bracelets sat next to each other, countless tentacles sprouted. Then they burrowed straight into the princess's flesh. Frightened, the princess frantically shook her arm back and forth. Unexpectedly, the bracelets only tightened further. The mother rushed forward to inspect the situation. She discovered that the bracelet seemed grown into her daughter's flesh and could not be removed. Before the emperor could react, the princess's pupils began to dilate rapidly. Then the colors in her eyes gradually faded, leaving only black and white. The next moment, the little princess stumbled and fainted to the ground. To figure out exactly what the bracelets were, the emperor hastily summoned the all-knowing high priest to examine them. The high priest said these 3 bracelets were rare treasures from a foreign land. Separated, they were divine artifacts, but when combined they became demonic implements. Moreover, each of the 3 bracelets corresponded to a riddle, with the truth hidden within the answer. The high priest said the little princess was cursed by the bracelets. If she could not solve the 3 riddles corresponding to the bracelets before turning 18, the bracelets would backfire and drain the princess's blood, eventually sucking her dry and causing her to die in agony. To break this curse, the emperor widely recruited extraordinary talents from across the realm, proclaiming that whoever could help the princess solve the riddles would be granted his beloved daughter in marriage. Hundreds of people came, yet not a single one could guess the answers. As the demonic curse of the bracelets advanced, the princess's complexion grew increasingly pale. To prevent herself from descending into madness, each night, the princess would have herself bound within the palace. With only 1 month left until her 18th birthday, the princess no longer held any hope of breaking the curse. But the emperor was deeply distressed for his daughter, so he had the general accompany the princess in sword practice. However, whenever the princess saw the general, she flew into a rage, for those cursed bracelets had been brought back by him. Under the guise of sword practice, the princess attempted to kill the general. In an instant, she enraged the general. The general subdued her with a single move. At that moment, a foreign youth suddenly appeared. The youth had intended to help the princess against the general, yet the general subdued the youth in one effortless move. In this life or death moment, the princess quickly raised her 3 colored bracelets in defense.